What's up, buddy? It's what Jim, and this live stream, I'm discussing my top 5 album sides, and I'll be doing that with Jason, Old Millennial. He's just having his lunch, so he'll be ready to join in a few minutes. So I might as well get started before he joins, and just reveal my honorable mentions for my top 5 album sides. So hope everyone's doing well. And please let me know in the comments or this live stream your favorite album sides. I'd be curious to know yours. Yeah, I might as well just get through all the mentions. These are all side ones, actually. So in my top 5 sides, I've got a bit of side ones and side twos, but from all the mentions, they're all just side ones. So number 10 is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. And number 9 is Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings. And number 8 is Formula Fever by Tom Petty. 7, Moon Dance by Van Morrison. And number 6 is After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. When Jason's here, I will go through my top 5 album sides. We've got Nick. Hello, Nick. I wonder what your favourite album side is. It's probably going to be By The Who. I know his favourite album's Who Are You? So it could be a song from there. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this live stream for a while. Looking forward to doing this. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Jason's picks are going to be as well. I guess I could talk about what music I've been listening to lately. Well, I've been listening to all sorts of music recently, but I mean, I think last time I listened to, well, one of them was Tupelo Honey by Van Morrison, which I gave a 9.75 out of 10. I loved it. And it's my second favourite Van Morrison album after Moon Dance. Yeah, I thought Who Are You side 2 would be one of your favourites. Helps side 1. Yeah, I think it used to be in my top 10. Didn't quite make it anymore. But there actually are quite a lot of amazing album sides out there. These are all 10 out of 10 album sides. Not every track on them are 10 out of 10, but I give the whole side, though, a 10 out of 10. But I've still got a lot of albums to listen to. Still got a few records and CDs to get through. But yeah, I'm going to listen to another Van Morrison album soon. It's the album called Enlightenment. So I'm looking forward to listening to that. Yeah, I'm just going through all the albums I've got to listen to. I've also got I'm going through all of Pete Townshend's solo work. So at some point, I'd like to do a live stream on all those albums, whether it's on my channel or Nick's channel, because I know Nick's the big Who guy. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But hopefully Jason shouldn't be too much longer. Maybe I should have started this once he was here, but I'm sure he'll be here in the next couple of minutes. But I also watched Transformers 1 again today. I loved it that much that I watched it again in the cinema, and I watched it today with my dad. If I hadn't seen it the first time I saw it, I watched it with my mum, so it was nice for him to finally watch it. And he did really like it, not quite as much as I did, or my mum did. We both gave it a 9. My dad gave it an 8 out of 10. So he still thought it was great. I don't think Jason's on yet, but it shouldn't be much longer. I've not really got too much else to really mention for music-related stuff. Well, I've got a few concerts lined up, a few tributes. I've always got some tributes to go to, so expect YouTube shorts for them. I enjoy doing those YouTube shorts on concerts. They're probably my favourite YouTube shorts to make, actually, the ones I do on concerts. But I'm not sure how long it's going to take to do top 5 album sides. Not sure it's going to be a long live stream or not. But we've got a comment here saying, do you like Radiohead? Yeah, I think Radiohead's great. My favourite album of theirs is OK Computer. That's the only album of theirs I've got on vinyl. And it would be a 9.75 out of 10, but the reason why it isn't is because of the track Fitter Happier. I think it's just okay. I think it fits well the rest of the album, but as its own individual thing, no, I think it's pretty mediocre. So because of that, I give the album 9.5. But my favourite album of theirs used to be The Bends, but now it's OK Computer. And my favourite song of theirs is Fake Plastic Trees from The Bends. My second favourite is Paranoid Android. Got Nick here? I don't care. I don't, but I get why people like them. I think he's on my Radiohead as well. But yeah, I think at some point I will do either a video or a live stream or short on Radiohead. I'd like to do something on them. But I've only heard a few of their albums. I've heard their first three plus In Rainbows. But I think there's one called Kid A or something. Apparently that's meant to be really good, so I might check that one out, but I've got a lot of albums to get through. So, and at some point on Nick's channel, 1505, I'll be finishing the Eagle series. Looking forward to doing that. We're ranking all their albums and reading our top 5 songs of theirs as well. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That was a great series to do on Nick's channel. Never heard that album. In fact, I never really heard any of their live stuff. I might have to check that out at some point. But I'm sure Jason will be any minute. I just got to think of something else to talk about briefly, but well, I guess I could talk about what album I listened to on my turntable today, and that was Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan. And I think Highway 61 is still my favourite Bob Dylan album, but Blonde on Blonde, it's definitely good. It's definitely up there, that album. It's one of the best double albums I've heard. But there he is.
Yep.
How are you?
All right. Just woke up and ate some lunch.
Yeah. I just thought I'd start this live stream before you join.
Oh, okay. I just now noticed. Okay.
Yeah. I've already revealed my honorable mentions, so you might want to go through yours first before we go through our top 5.
Honorable mentions.
Do you have any?
I guess I'll say Band on the Run, side 1, probably, and
that was in my honorable mentions list.
Was it? That was one I was thinking about. Crosby, Stills and Nash, side 1. Deja Vu, side 1. I thought about Who's Next, side 1. I thought about. There was a couple that kind of were on my mind, but didn't quite make it in.
I feel bad. I don't have any Who sides in my top 10. But it is what it is. It's too many great album sides out there. Yeah, it is a really good side.
It came pretty close. I came pretty close to putting that on there. I didn't quite. Yeah, it didn't quite get on there. I looked at it and I was like, man, there's a lot to like about it. I don't know why. I just couldn't quite put it on.
I think it's my favorite solo Beatles side on the album. So I'll give it that. Just didn't quite make it into my top 5. But
oh man,
we'll get to it with our top 5. Was this quite easy to come up with your favorite album sides?
1 through 3 I thought of pretty quickly. 4 and 5 I had to think about. In fact, I'm actually changing one of my. I've just decided now I'm going to change one of my choices.
Yeah, it isn't an easy task to do. I've had mine written up for a while.
Oh, really?
I
just now thought of one that I.
Quadrophenia side 2. Yeah.
Oh, Quadrophenia. Oh man.
Well, yeah. Guess we might as well go through our top 5 now then. What's your number 5?
Number 5 is Bridge Over Troubled Waters, side 1. Yeah, and yeah, it's just, I mean, side 1, you start with Bridge Over Troubled Water, the title song, which is, obviously a great song to start with, even though it could have been a great closer as well. It's kind of the big epic, very emotional song that could have ended, but still, I mean, you got that, and then you got El Contrapasa, If I Could, which is a pretty good song. I really like that song as well, and it's kind of a fairly hit song. And then you get Cecilia, one of my favorite Simon Garfunkel songs. Really, that would have been a better opener maybe because it's such an upbeat, fun song. But then you got Keep the Customer Satisfied, which to me it may be my favorite like deep cut on the album. I think that song's really great. It's one of my favorite on there. I know Nick, if he's in there, me and Nick did a whole thing on it, and I think it was Nick's favorite song on the album. And me and Nick both agreed, like, it's such a great song that, you probably don't ever talk about. And then you got So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright, closes out the side. It's what I have written. And So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright, I think is a really good song. I hear a lot of people usually have that as, like, the least favorite song on the album, and I actually think it's a really beautiful song. I don't know if it's top 5, but it's pretty close to maybe a top 5 song on the album. But yeah, that's because there's only 11 songs in the album, so that first 5 is like side 1. The only thing I hate is that The Boxer is my favorite song on the album. That's on side 2. So
yeah, it opens side 2.
Yeah, it opens side 2. It's like I wish if Boxer was on side 1, that would make it even better. But still, I like all 5 songs there, and you got like I said, you got some of my favorite really on that side 1. So yeah, that's what I came up with.
It's both of our favorite Simon Garfunkel album as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's top. It was in my last list. It was in my top 10 favorite albums. So.
I bet I've heard all the album sides you're going to mention. But Nick's actually revealed all of his top 5. So he's number 4's Arrival by ABBA, side 1.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, but the Run side 1. Help side 1. Who Are You side 2. So you've got 2 Beatles and 2 Who in there. It's pretty cool. We've got My Dad. Oh, the album House of Love by the band House of Love.
Right, no.
Yeah, you probably have heard of them. They're a 90s rock band. I think you might like that album.
Really?
But yeah, I'll get. What's your favorite track from side 1 of Bridge of Troubled Water?
Cecilia would be my favorite.
I think mine would probably be the title track.
Yeah, that's a good one. Bridge of Troubled Water is it's a great song, but I don't know. It's a little slow at times sometimes, so it's like you have to be in the right mood for it sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta be in the right mood for that one.
Yeah. Cecilia, I don't know. It's such a fun. It's pretty quick. It's not that long. It's just really fun and upbeat, and I don't know. It's one of my favorites.
Well, I'll get to my number 5, and it's the Jackson Browne self-titled album,
Oh, okay.
1972, and it's the third side of the album, which has 5 tracks. It opens up with Jamaica Say You Will, which I know the Byrds covered, but I like the Jackson Browne version the most. I think it's got a very chilled out vibe to start the album. I think it definitely sets the tone for the rest of the album. Then you got the track "A Child in These Hills," which I think is a very underrated song. I think my favorite part of it though is probably the harmonica in it. I love the usage of that. And then you got my favorite Jackson Browne song, which is "Song for Adam." Yeah, I love the lyrics of that one. The vocals. Yeah, but it's
That's
not
right.
about me though.
I kind
It's
of
not
remember
about
you talking about that. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. I mean, the fourth track is the biggest hit. Is the biggest song on the album. One of Jackson's biggest hits. That's "Stuck to My Eyes."
I
It's a very
hoping.
fun, uplifting song,
Yeah,
which I think is different. It's very different to "Song for Adam," but I like that contrast. And then you end side one with a beautiful song from Silver Lake. So I think it's a fantastic side one on the album.
didn't you just cover the album on your channel?
It was Late for the Sky, but I want to cover that
It
album at some point though.
was Late for the Sky. Okay, with Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you heard this self-titled Jackson
No,
Brown album?
no. I
Well,
still need to get to Jackson Brown. It's one of the artists I haven't gotten to yet. I need to get to. I know
it's got
you,
a new
Rich.
album. Yeah, it's got a new album. I think going to release
Oh,
at
really?
some point. That's what Rich said. Anyway,
Okay.
he said there might be another Jackson Brown album coming out.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he's probably up in his 70s, I'm sure now, right?
Got Nick wants to join, so I'll get you the link. Nick. I'll
Join
do
the
that in
Jackson.
a set.
Yeah, yeah. He loves keep this customer.
Side two.
Yeah, that's one a lot of people really loves. Abbey Road side too.
Well, you might as well review what your number 4 is. Otherwise, I get Nick in the chat.
All right. Okay, it's crazy. I just now actually I didn't have this album, and until just now, I just now realized I forgot about this album, and it just kind of hit me. I was like, I have to have this album in this list, and that is Magical Mystery Tour, side 2. And I
Yeah,
can't.
good choice, that one.
I had this album on Room for Squares by John Mayer. But just right now, I just forgot that I forgot to put this album on the list. But side 2 of Magical Mystery Tour is so good. I was like, how did I forget about this album just till now? Because I was putting this album together last night. I mean, this list together last night, and I was trying to think of everything, and I was looking at different albums, like what would make my list, and I remember thinking about this, and I forgot to write it down, but I was like, yeah, this has to be on there. I mean, because side 2 is all the singles that came out that during that time that weren't on any albums. So they put all these great hits that it's basically it's like the Beatles really didn't, or originally this album wasn't an LP, it's just an EP, and then the Americans like, let's just slap on all these great hits on side 2. So side 2 is like a greatest hits, which is really awesome. Because you start with Hello Goodbye, which was a #1 hit for them. Really good song. And then you get Strawberry Fields Forever. I mean, one of the greatest Beatles songs. I mean, like, to me, top 15, like, Beatles song. That was a single right before Sgt. Pepper's. We all say, man, why couldn't this be on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? But they didn't put singles on their albums, so... but the Americans, we were like, hey, let's put it on Magical Mystery Tour. So you got Strawberry Fields Forever, and then you get Penny Lane, which I even like Penny Lane even more than Strawberry Fields Forever. Those two were like in my top 15 favorite Beatles songs. So I love Penny Lane. Like, it's just so happy. I just feel so happy when I hear that song. It's just the horns, that chorus. You just, oh my gosh, it's just so much joy. Oh, and I have a Penny Lane keychain that you bought me.
Yeah.
That says Penny Lane on it. Yeah, I wish I had that over there somewhere. Because you've been to Penny Lane, I guess, or
yeah. I think I bought the keychain myself as well. I've got it somewhere.
And you've been, I guess you've been to Strawberry Fields also.
Yeah, I've been there several times.
Yeah. So you've been there, yeah. Then you get Baby You're a Rich Man, which is a very deep, really great deep cut, kind of underrated song. Really great song. I mean, it's one of those nobody would know unless you hear this album. But I forget about it until I hear it, and I'm like, oh man, this is such a good song that nobody talks about. Super catchy. And then you end with All You Need Is Love. I mean, another absolutely fantastic Beatles song that they did for the world global thing that they did. And yeah, it's an iconic song by John. All you need is love. Da, 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 da. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, these are all, I say everything but Baby You're Richmond are all iconic songs in the Beatles discography. I mean, side one is okay, only that it has Blue Jay Way and Flying hurts side one, so I couldn't put side one on, but I was like, side two is perfect. It has to be on here.
Yeah, good choice. Didn't make one on mentions or top five, sadly. But Nick agrees a good choice as well.
Thank you. I mean, thank you, Nick.
So I'm assuming your favorite song on side two of Magical Mystery Door is Penny Lane.
Yeah, Penny Lane.
It might probably be Strawberry Fields Forever.
I believe Strawberry Fields Forever was number 15 and Penny Lane was number 14, I think, or something like that on my Beatles list. So they're both back to back.
Yeah, they're not far apart on my list either. But I'll get to my number 4 choice, which is an album that we reviewed in your channel recently, and that's Bob Marley's Exodus.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's side 2 of the album, which opens with the song Jamming, which I know you were, I think it was you, it wasn't too crazy on that one, or was it Nick? I think it's a brilliant song.
I like the song. I think it might be Nick, I guess.
Yeah, I think Nick wasn't a fan of that one. But you can see the picture.
I'm a few seconds behind, but I thought I heard you talking about Strawberry Fields, and this is Adam's recent purchase.
Yeah.
So obviously the Strawberry Field Gate.
Yeah.
John Lennon's head cut out of the Strawberry Field record.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So as soon as Adam saw that, he said, "That's got to go in my lounge with all the other things."
Yeah, it's great, that picture.
So I thought you'd like to see that, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember you got that picture in front of that gate and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the gate. Yeah, I've still got that.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy, actually. Gate. The gate.
Yeah. Very cool.
One day, hopefully I'll see it. But
well, Jason, if you do, we'll be there with you.
Yeah. I'll be going there as well.
Yeah.
I'll give you the tour.
Yeah. Definitely.
That'd be awesome if you did that, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, we'll continue. We'll talk about Exodus. And then the second track on side 2 is Waiting in Vain, which I know you love. You love that one.
Was that the one?
Yeah, but I think it's a turn. It's a track after that. Turn Your Lights Down Low is one that you really liked.
Yeah, because my favorite was not one of the well-known ones, I think, and I might have been the only one that had that as my favorite. I think.
I think it's either Waiting in Vain or I think it was Turn Your Lights Down Low.
Yeah.
But yeah, those three songs are fantastic, and then it ends with 2 big hits of his. That's three Little Birds, and One Love Such People Get Ready, which are 2 of some of his greatest songs he's done. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant side 2.
Yeah.
I'm almost surprised it wasn't the first side on the album. But yeah, he's Penny Lane. Yeah, he's the one that didn't care. Jamming.
I'm jamming.
It was one of you.
Hope you're jamming too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 4.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I've got another pick that you probably won't be expecting.
Okay. I hate to say mine is Beatles heavy, but it is.
Well, I've got a Beatles one somewhere.
Yeah, I figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard not to.
So now top 3.
Number 3. Yeah, this one this was pretty easy to put. I knew I had this in my top 3, and Nick mentioned it, but it's Help, side 1.
Yeah.
And I know Nick mentioned it there in the chat, and I know me and Nick have talked about it when we reviewed it on Jacob Martin's channel. I think we both said, yeah, side 1 is just a perfect side. It's like when we were reviewing it, I was like, man, I forget how good that side is until you look at it and you're like, holy cow, that's all great songs. And this is my 3rd favorite album of all time, so I mean, easily easy kind of put together. Of course, side 1 is all songs that are in the movie as well, and it doesn't even have my favorite song on the album, which is Yesterday. And Yesterday is on 2nd side, and which is fine because Yesterday should have been a good closer, if unfortunately it's not. But I mean, side 1, of course, you begin with Help. Help is obviously the great way. It's a great kind of upbeat rock song. One of their great songs in this period. Classic, number 1 hit, I think, in the U.S. And then you got The Night Before is a really good song. It's not one that you think about as much on the album. It's not one of the big hits or whatever, but still a really great song from Paul McCartney. Super catchy. Then 3, You Got to Hide Your Love Away. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite Beatles songs. It's already the 3rd one here. One of John's best, I think, written kind of acoustic ballad type, whatever you want to call it, songs, pop songs or whatever. And really, I think we always look at this as being like, definitely feels like Bob Dylan's influence, because this album definitely has a lot of Bob Dylan influence on it, it feels like. And this song definitely feels a little bit a different type of song that John hadn't written before until this point. But I love the acoustic guitar on here. So great. Then next you got I Need You, the best George song so far. Like, George is now starting to write really good songs, and it starts with this one, I Need You, which love the guitar effect on there. So cool. But a really good George song. Then you got Another Girl, another super catchy Paul McCartney song on here. It's great. And then you got You're Gonna Lose That Girl, which I know Nick's in the chat. Me and Nick's both kind of say that's like probably the best kind of almost deep cut on the album, in the sense that it wasn't a big hit. People really don't talk about it. And I know me and Nick both have it like in our top 5 favorite songs on the album. Love the back and forth between John and George and Paul singing the backing. You're gonna lose that girl. Yes, yes, you're gonna lose that girl. You're gonna lose. Yes, yes, you're gonna lose. I love that back and forth. And it's just a fun song. And then you end with Ticket to Ride. I mean, Ticket to Ride, one of their best hits on the album, and one of their best songs in this period of time. And yeah, another song that's pretty high up on my favorite Beatles song list. And great guitar intro, one of the best guitar intros that they've ever done. And then again, just a really great rock song from John's vocally, so great, super catchy. The drumming, love the drumming on there. Yeah, so it's like, man, you start with Help, you end with Ticket to Ride. I mean, that is so good. You got some of the best Beatles songs right there. My favorite on this side, I think it's probably You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. I believe would be my favorite on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's about 9 Beatles sides that I think we're all contenders. I'll be in the top 10 somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So many good ones. It's hard to, yeah.
But my number 3, this is one of the other surprising picks. My top 5. I've got it behind me. It's by the band The Proclaimers. It's the album Sunshine Leaf, and it's side 1 on the album, which is almost like the greatest hits. I love the side to start off with their biggest song, 500 Miles.
Yeah.
Which I think everyone knows that song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I don't know anyone who doesn't know that song. Then you got the song Cap in Hand, which has become one of my favorite famous songs, and the lyrics of that one. It's one of my dad's favorites as well. But then you got the song Then I Met You, which I think is a really great uplifting number. And then you got a cover song, which is the song My Old Friend The Blues, which is originally by Steve Earle. I think I do prefer Steve Will's version slightly more, but I love this version as well. I think you got the track Sean, which I think is a really great, really great song on the album. And then you close with the title track, Sunshine or Leaf, which is one of my favourite songs of theirs. It's a 5-minute ballad, but I think it's a beautiful song and fantastic way of ending the first side of the album. And I think the second side's really good, but not quite as good as the first side.
Yeah, you get that big hit on it, that first side. So
it opens the album. I think you have to open the album with that one.
So I'm guessing that's their biggest album then.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah. And you saw them live, didn't you?
I've seen them live twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Did you meet them?
I met them both times as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you're definitely going to be familiar with my top two.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get to our top two now.
I think you'll be familiar with. Yeah, you're familiar with my top two for sure. No surprises on my side, maybe. Number two, Nick mentioned this one. Side two of Who Are You? This is, man, quickly becoming one of my favorite albums. It's my second favorite Who album, and yeah, it's pretty high up on my top 100 albums list now. It wasn't on my original one, but on my new one, it's going to be higher on my top 100 favorite albums. And side two, it's only 4 songs. That's the crazy part. I have it on here, but it's perfect. I mean, all 4 songs are amazing, and they're not even big hits except for the last song, Who Are You, is the only one that's really well known. But it's like, man, if you don't, in fact,
you get 3 songs to get out.
If you don't, I mean, I've even heard people that like have heard this album and didn't rate it very high, and I'm always like, are you kidding me? Like, this album's perfect, really, to be honest. And the side two is just like, I remember the first time I heard this album, and I got to side two, and the first song, Trick of the Light, you're like, oh, I never heard the song. And then I heard it, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. That's a really good song. Like, never heard of it. Then next song, number 7, or on second song on side 2, Guitar and Pen. That is one of the best discoveries I've ever had. It's in my top 10 favorite Who songs now. Nick, I think it might have been his favorite Who song or close to it. And I got introduced to that song by Scott and Nick. Scott and Nick showed me that song one time, and I was like, how have I never heard the song before? And I'm a Who fan, and I'm like, I just never delved into this album yet, I guess, or I didn't remember. Guitar Pen is such an amazing song. I mean, the guitar playing, it's just an absolutely excellent rock song. And so you get that, and you're like, wow, this is like the best song on the album. The next one, Love Is Coming Down. Another great song that it's like not a song, another great deep cut that you would never hear of before until you hear this album, and then you're like, holy cow, this is like a third just absolutely amazing song. And then the fourth song on side 2, the last song, you end with this Who Are You, which is absolutely perfect closer to the album, the title of the album. And it's one of their biggest hit songs, of course. Probably the last, I feel like maybe the last really big hit. But I mean, you hear place, of course, the Who Are You, who. I mean, so catchy. Great vocals from Roger Daughtry, really killing on vocals. And just the overall music production is just, absolutely amazing. Of course, Pete Townsend's just killing it on all that, that bam, 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 boom, like all the different sound effects and everything used. Yeah, it's only 4 songs long, but side 2, like first time I heard it, I was like this is like, and I said this to Nick. I said, Nick, I think this is like one of the best sides I've ever heard in my life. And Nick was like, yeah, I agree. And so he has a number 1, I have a number 2. So
I think it's probably my favorite Who side.
Okay, yeah, I know you've heard it, yeah.
I think, but Who's next side one though, it's definitely up there too.
Yeah, I considered that. The only problem is it doesn't have my. It's hard because my favorite song is on side 2. Won't Get Fooled Again.
Yeah.
But side 1's good too, though. Yeah.
But got my number 2. I'm still sticking with side ones. It's my favourite side one of any album. That's Fleetwood Mac's Rumours.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
Yeah, because every song it's like it belongs on the greatest hits album of theirs. You start with Secondhand News, which I think is a fantastic way of opening the album. And then you got the song Dreams, which is one of my favourite Fleetwood Mac songs. It's probably my favourite Stevie Nicks led Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah.
Then you got the track Never Going Back Again. I love the acoustic guitar playing on that one. Then you got the song Don't Stop, which is one of the songs I was familiar with going into the album. Same goes for Go Your Own Way. I especially loved it when it was in Forrest Gump. It was one of my favourite moments in that movie with that song appeared. And then you got the beautiful song Songbird, which is one of my favourite Christine McVie led songs. And then I think that's it for the first side. So I think the Chain opened side 2. So I think it's a fantastic side 1. Every single song's 10 out of 10 to me. Yeah, it's a perfect album side. So
that's a great pick. That's another one I should have considered on my top 5 for sure.
There's just too much competition.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, like I said, my top 3, I that was pretty easy to put together. I knew that was my top 3. 4 and 5 was a little more difficult to kind of come up with, but.
So, what's your favorite album side?
All right. Well, I had to go with my favorite album. I was like, how can I not go with my favorite album? And my favorite album is Revolver by the Beatles. So I know I had 3 Beatle albums on my 5, but man, it's hard not to. But side 1 is just perfect. Again, it can't get any better than side 1. I mean, opening with Taxman with George Harrison, first time he got the lead on an album. I know this is Nick's favorite song on the album, and it's one of my favorite too. An amazing rock song, one of their best rock songs they ever came up with. That guitar riff is so great. Bam, bam, ba-dam, bam, bam. Oh man, it's like that guitar solo, probably the best guitar solo. It was done by Paul McCartney, but it was probably my favorite guitar solo the Beatles ever did.
I always wish the solo was a bit longer.
Really?
I could have had another minute of that solo.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so Taxman, and it's kind of a funny song about, taxes, because we hate taxes. Yeah, and so it's kind of a satirical song that George is really good at writing. But yeah, amazing opener. And then second song is Eleanor Rigby, my favorite song on the album. One of my favorite Beatles songs. Again, top 15 Beatles song of all time. It's so crazy going from Taxman to Eleanor Rigby. Eleanor Rigby is just so beautiful. The orchestra music is so great. It's one of the best. It's maybe my favorite lyrical song. I mean, it's just tells a story really well. You've seen Eleanor Rigby, probably the Tombstone or something.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah. So, so that's absolutely amazing song. Yeah, what can you say? One of Paul McCartney's favorite or best. And then you got I'm Only Sleeping. Love that song from Lennon. Got a little psychedelic with the backward guitars in there, but great bass. I love the bass too. Bass is awesome. But I just love it. It's a song about not wanting to get up out of bed. I mean, I can relate. Like, leave me alone. I'm sleeping. Then next one, Love You Too. I think it's a very underrated song from Harrison. I actually really like this song. I usually don't like Harrison's sitar songs, like Within You, Without You, and Inner Light. I'm not a fan of those. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of sitar or whatever music. But he turned the sitar into a rock song. I'm like, wow, this is like actually a really cool rock song with a sitar. Like, I never thought I would see it. It's a very underrated song on the album. One of the great deep cuts, I think. But the beginning too, I love the intro. Oh my gosh, just getting into the ba-dum bum bum bum. Like it's it starts off kind of slow and then bam, hits you really fast. And yeah, really good song. And then you got Here, There, and Everywhere. Probably the maybe I would say my second maybe favorite love song behind Something. Something might be my favorite love song from the Beatles, but Here, There, and Everywhere is a close second. Probably one of Paul McCartney's best written love songs about wanting to be everywhere with that person. I mean, just perfectly written, beautiful song. Another top 15 Beatles song for me. It's like almost my top 10. Such a beautiful song. And then you get Yellow Submarine, which a lot of people be like, yeah, it's kind of silly kid song, Ringo singing. But man, I really like Yellow Submarine. It's so fun. It's fun to sing along to. I think Ringo does a really good job vocally. And I don't know, it's a fun song. I don't mind it. I know Nick will say Yellow Submarine shouldn't be on the album. It doesn't fit the psychedelic of the album, and whatever. But it's like I still like it. I don't mind it, I guess. But I see what Nick is saying. Nick makes a good point. But because I mean, you could get it on Yellow Submarine, of course. Later on, it'll be on that album as well. But it's still a fun song. And then you end with She Said, She Said, a really great rock song. I mean, another, I don't know if I'd say underrated or not, kind of a deep cut, but guitar, oh my gosh, guitar playing so good, really good riff. And just John's vocals, the She Said, I know what it's like to be dead. Like, what a great line to start the song. And then like I said, the guitar playing. She makes me feel like I've never been born. It's like, oh, one of their best rock songs. So, yeah, I had to have that. Revolver Side 1 is just like, it's my favorite album. It's my favorite side on my favorite album. So, it had to be on there.
I should have seen it coming.
You
should have
should.
seen that coming, yeah.
Oh,
But I think my favorite album side, probably a lot of people would have seen it coming. It is a Beatles one, and of course it is Abbey Road, my all-time favorite album. And it's side 2 of Abbey Road, with the whole medley. But you start off with Here Comes the Sun, one of the most popular Beatles songs. In fact, the most streamed Beatles song. I think at one point it was even launched in space. I think it's one of George's best. Yeah, the perfect way of opening side 2. And then you got the song Because, which has those fantastic harmonies on it. And then you got the song which opens the medley, which is Never Give Me Money, which is sort of like a medley in of itself, really. I think it's a bit of an underrated song. I love it. And then you got the song Sun King, which has got a very relaxing vibe to it. Yeah, I really like the harmonies on that one as well. And then you got Me, Mr. Mustard, which is quite a funny uplifting song.
Yeah.
With great guitar work. Same goes to the track Polythene Pam. But I like that song a bit more because of the guitar riff. It's really catchy. Yeah, a really great one. And then you got She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, which is one of the deep cuts. Another one of the deep cuts on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Another quite funny song on the album about someone going to Paul's bathroom window, trying to break in his house. Really, yeah, it's a true story. Yeah, I think it's a great song. And then you got Golden Slumbers, Carried Away in the End, which is my all-time favorite song.
Yeah,
you can't just read one song. You got Golden Slumbers with Paul's best vocals he's done. You got Carry That Weight when all the Beatles are singing together, and you got the end with the drum solo and the fantastic guitar solos from each of them as well. Yeah. And of course, you've got the lyric and in the end, love you take, see what to love you make. And then you got Her Majesty, which is sort of like an end credit scene to a movie sort of thing.
Yeah. End credit.
Yeah. It was sort of like that when they saw to boot their Beatles. They came back on just to do Her Majesty went off the stage again.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was quite funny. But yeah. Mine definitely should have been seen coming.
Yeah.
That's my album side.
I imagine.
At one point, it used to be side 1 on the album, but it's side 2 now because of the whole medley. But I don't think every song's perfect on the second side, but I have to look at it as a whole, really. I don't think every part of the medley is perfect, but I think altogether it is perfect. But yeah, I enjoyed doing this. It was great to have. It was great just to have you on my channel for a change. It's been a while.
That's
This
me.
has just been yeah. But yeah, there's so many fantastic album sides out there. I'd love to know what other people's are watching this. Do you have any final words before we conclude this?
No, this is definitely a really fun idea. I'm glad we did it because I've been thinking about that too. Yeah, it's funny because I don't think of albums as sides so much because I listen to Spotify usually, so there's not side 1 or side 2. But it is interesting to think of. Wow, they really thought these sides out. When they made a perfect side, they're like, yeah, they really planned it out, perfectly. And there's almost an art form too, like making a perfect side. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of fun. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, it was great going through them. And I appreciate everyone watching. And until next time, peace out, peace and love, and ciao. Goodbye.